I was diagnosed in July of 2002, and I was one of those cases where the news just kept getting worse and worse. The first diagnosis.
Is this the front one?
Yeah, you might want to go around the back.
Yeah.
First be right here. That is really noisy.
You again?
At any rate, was where the news just kept getting worse. The first inclination was because of the size of the tumor from external manipulation and from an MRI was that it was possible that I was just stage 1 or 2. Went in for the lumpectomy, and it was everywhere. I was blessed or cursed, as it were, to have a kind of cancer called lobular that by the time it forms a tumor, it's often advanced disease. And so at that point, I knew that chemotherapy was inevitable. And it's interesting, at the time, most of us women are more concerned at the time about losing our hair than anything else. We're concerned about our image, our hair, and we have no idea that we should be more concerned about losing our brain function. At least I didn't. And I'm a psychologist, but when I was handed the list of side effects, cognitive side effects was not even on the list. And many of you may have that same experience, but I'm here to tell you the evidence is solid. No matter what you read on the internet, no matter what you might be told by a professional, it may be that they're just not up on all the research. So what happened was my symptoms actually began with that first infusion. A very short anecdote was that I had a friend who was helping me through this process, and she was at my home, and my daughter was supposed to be coming home right after school. That was what I thought I remembered. And she shows up 3 hours late, and my husband and my friend are waiting for her, and she said, they said, why aren't you home? What happened to you? She said, well, I told Mom that I was stopping by Connie's house on the way home. And I said, no, you didn't. Mom, I did. And I thought, okay, this is like the typical teenage trick. She's like 16, right? Yeah, right. And so, but she began to recount, no, you were standing in the kitchen, I said this, and she was trying to describe exactly the conditions under which she had told me. And this was my second infusion, by the way, so it was 3 weeks after the first one. And I honestly, nothing rang a bell. That was my first inkling, was that right after the second infusion, that something was not right. And I thought, well, is it stress? What could be happening here? And then beyond a shadow of a doubt, there really was sufficient memory damage, because after the fact, I don't remember for about 2 years. My memory of 2002, I remember some of the infusions, not all of them. And I was starting up another business in the biotech park, and honestly, I consider those years the lost years. I have a relative staying at my home this weekend, and he was telling me about a car accident that happened in the driveway. And I vaguely remember the car accident. It was that same daughter backing into his car, and how for the first time in his life he heard me utter an expletive, deleted. And I said, oh no, I didn't do that. Well, yes, you did. I thought, okay, there it is. There was Chemo Brain. So, at any rate, that was a real crisis for me, because I make my living by my brain, and I study the brain, and without my brain, I am not me. And so I thought, what in the world am I going to do about this? And interestingly, I was working on getting a federal grant, so I actually was able to get paid for learning more about the brain that ended up helping my recovery. And I'll go into that in just a minute.